Truly unexplained mysteries have become increasingly rare as criminal investigation techniques and forensic science continue to advance. However, not every case is the same, and there are still some scary unsolved mysteries that continue to baffle even the best experts out there. Puzzling cases that may require new techniques or forensic evidence in order to see them finally solved. Number 1. Karina Hjortsson lived an ideal life in the idyllic town of Skillingaryd, Sweden. But like so many small-town 20-year-olds, Karina wanted to travel and see the world. In March of 1996, the unthinkable happened. And decades later, case experts are still baffled as to who is behind this senseless crime against a sweet and caring young woman. After winning $1,500 with a lottery ticket, Karina took a flight to Dover, Massachusetts, where an agency had found placement for her in the affluent home of Frank Rapp and Susan Nichter of Dover, Massachusetts. As her Swedish family watched her board the plane, they had no idea that their real-life horror story had already begun. Frank and Susan had 2 young children, and when not working during the week, the wealthy family allowed Karina to use Frank's extra apartment in downtown Boston. Karina would stay at the Boston apartment on weekends and meet up with other foreign travelers where they would enjoy all that the city had to offer. June 21st, 1996, Karina and her friends had somehow become separated at the Zanzibar nightclub while celebrating summer solstice. Witnesses confirmed that Karina was far from sober and recalled seeing her leave the nightclub at around 3 a.m. From there, the story behind this mystery gets scary. 2 days later, a man rummaging through bin bags in Back Bay, Boston, discovered the upper body of Karina with deep imprints around her neck. The bottom half was never recovered. The only piece of physical evidence that the Boston Police Department had was a partial fingerprint with no database matches. There have been several suspects over the years, including Frank Rapp, the man who Karina had worked for. Karina had confessed to her friends in Sweden via mysterious letters that something terrible had happened and that she wanted to return home to Sweden. Rapp denied any involvement in the unsolved crime, telling the media that he was devastated by Karina's loss. Several other theories and suspects have popped up on the police's radar, including a man who was throwing an after-party that she wanted to attend, and various people who helped find her friends after they separated. However, without any forensic evidence, the unsolved mystery is far from being solved. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Boston Police Department at 617-343-4500. Number 4. This is the scary mystery of 33-year-old Cheryl Bernita Parks, a hard-working, dedicated mother of 2 from Atlanta, Georgia. At the time of her strange disappearance in January of 1992, Cheryl was seeing a man who lived on Fern Avenue in Atlanta. One evening, Cheryl made a phone call that would ultimately be her last. Decades later, the unsolved case continues to baffle investigators despite her family's best efforts to seek justice. On January 10, 1992, after finishing her shift at the Morehouse College cafeteria, Cheryl called her sister to let her know that she would be missing from home that evening, and that she could be found at her boyfriend's apartment if needed. It would be the last time they'd ever speak. The next morning, January 11th, Cheryl's worried sister called the boyfriend's apartment. His answer was far from reassuring. If this story was true, then he had last seen Cheryl leaving his Fern Avenue apartment the night before at around 11 p.m. She was allegedly going to a party, but he was unsure if she had made it there or not. Cheryl's sister found this information puzzling and immediately reported her sister's mysterious disappearance to the Atlanta Police Department. Multiple searches were conducted, however, there's been no sign of Cheryl since January 10, 1992. Investigators are unsure whether Cheryl even arrived at said party, or whether there was ever a party at all. Cheryl likely met with foul play, and now her family is desperate to solve the most frightening unexplained mystery they've ever been faced with. Cheryl Bernita Parks is described as an African-American female with black hair, brown eyes, 5'9" and 135 pounds. Her ears are pierced and one of her front teeth is chipped. She was last seen wearing a white dress with a red and black checkered jacket, carrying a blue bag. Anyone with information is asked to contact Sergeant Nia Mitchell of the Atlanta Police Department at 404-546-5602, quoting case number 213A7071. Number 3. 41-year-old Joshua Siski was going through a difficult time in his life in 2019. He had recently been kicked out of his father's home and was battling addiction and his mental health. In a bid to find himself, Joshua decided to venture into the Olympic National Park in Washington State. Joshua maintained a close relationship with his family, especially his mother. So when he failed to check in with her, his unexplained actions worried her deeply. There are some conflicting dates across his various missing person reports. But Joshua is said to have gone missing in the national park on either October 7th or October 10th. An Olympic National Park ranger remembers giving the man a ride into the Shadow Mountain area of the park, adding that Joshua was barefoot and did not have the means to survive outdoors for an extended period of time. The ranger offered to take Joshua somewhere safe, but Joshua strangely declined and remained adamant that he wanted to go hiking. Around the same time as the last sighting of Joshua, his parents received some creepy text messages from him, first asking him for $3,000 to help a woman he had met, and then a second text saying that he had given the woman all of his belongings. After the last sighting of Joshua was made, his parents contacted the Clallam County Sheriff's Department, who were able to track this mysterious woman down. And this is where the unsolved mystery becomes all the more confusing and even scarier too. The woman, who has not been named publicly, admitted Joshua was trying to help her. She also produced several letters, apparently written by Joshua, handing over his personal items to her and stating that he had gone missing into the woods on a self-discovery journey. In the letters, he promised the people he loved that he would be found again only when he was ready. But since 2019, there have been no signs of him. Joshua's car, phone, and wallet were in the possession of this mysterious woman, but detectives have been unable to comment on any ongoing criminal investigations. Almost 3 years have passed and Joshua is still missing. His family are desperate for answers in this scary real-life horror story. They know that someone out there has more information. Joshua Siski is described as a white male with brown hair, brown eyes, 5'7" to 5'10", and 150 to 190 pounds. Anyone who can help solve the case is asked to contact Detective Brandon Stepani of the Clallam County Sheriff's Department at 360-417-2459, quoting case number 210000479. Number 2. On October 26, 2006, a scary mystery was discovered by a man walking near the Darlington nuclear plant in Bowmanville, Ontario. Close to the junction of South Service and Holt Road, he found a partial set of remains. He immediately called the police, who arrived at the scene. The mysterious remains were found in a remote, marshy field, which led them to only one conclusion: an unsolved mystery involving foul play. The evidence was transported back to the coroner's office for further forensic testing. In their report, the coroner determined this case involved a woman aged between 18 and 30. She could have been missing in the field for between 2 to 25 years, and due to her advanced state, the defining characteristics of weight, height, and race have been erased. Her teeth were noted to be in good condition, with a few fillings and minor dental work having taken place. Investigators knew that she had access to health care during her life, as the possible signs of a nose job were also present. It wasn't until 2010 that more evidence was uncovered in her case, when forensic investigators decided to conduct another search on the field. This time, they found a size 9.5 gold ring with 2 diamonds and a red garnet. Police detectives hoped that this would be the lead they were looking for, but even after tracking down the jewelers and the manufacturers of the ring, the unsolved case went cold. Despite multiple searches and public inquiries, few leads have ever panned out, and the identity of the Bowmanville Jane Doe remains a truly scary mystery. But there is still a small glimmer of hope in getting this case solved. Thanks to the help of the DNA Doe Project, investigators confirmed in 2021 that the Bowmanville Jane Doe is of African American or Asian ancestry. Investigators believe that either she or her relatives may have hailed from the Caribbean. The DNA Doe Project is continuing to work with Canadian authorities and has a DNA profile and dental records available for forensic comparison. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Durham Regional Police Service at 905-579-1520. Number 1. The unexplained mystery of then 34-year-old Angela Marie Fulmer began on the afternoon of December 15, 2002. She was in Mount Shasta, California, driving to Twin Pines after spending much of the day and weekend partying. According to Thomas O'Connell, Angela's boyfriend, the two argued at length about the large amount of mud on the truck. The last time he saw Angela was when she walked off into the wilderness towards South Fork Road. He believed that Angela was just clearing her head, but in the distance he claims to have heard a car door slam shut, along with the roar of an engine. When Angela failed to return, Thomas began his own search for her until around 2:45 a.m., when he contacted the local county sheriff's department to formally report her as a missing person. Multiple searches, however, failed to find any signs of Angela. The weather grew severe hours later, hampering the search efforts and raising more concerns. Angela's children do not believe that she would leave of her own accord, as Thomas suggested, and they believe that she likely met with foul play. Angela's mother also told investigators that just days before her unsolved disappearance, Angela had randomly asked her to look after her children should anything happen to her. Whether this comment was in reference to the addiction she battled or to a more specific danger remains an unexplained mystery. Angela's unsolved case has gone cold since 2002, but investigators hope that their missing person will eventually be found much later one day. Angela Marie Fulmer is described as a white female with brown hair, brown eyes, 5'2" and 120 to 140 pounds. She may use the surnames of Mendoza or Sciarrati, and was last seen wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, black boots, and a gold ring. Anyone with information is asked to contact the sheriff's office at 503-841-2900, quoting case number 102-2013. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But my name is Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.